shift to our last philosophy portion, and the last half hour we're going to leave for questions and reflections from all of you. We are exploring surrendering fear forever. First point, to be fully aware of the symptoms of fear. This then builds the momentum to the second point, which is to be fully aware of the source of fear. The symptoms are so many, I've categorized them into three. They make us inefficient, they make us ineffective, they make us unhappy. Whether it's speaking in public, writing an exam, walking across the room in the dark, whatever it may be. The three sources, we proclaim there's many sources, like the weather, for example, but it's all down to death, unknown, sorrow. These are filtered into this simple model. When I am fully aware of the source of fear, then I am ready to engage in the solution to this fear. This solution is in the instruction manual to live life. To use this microphone made by Sennheiser, I'm sure it came with an instruction manual. When you buy a car, it comes with an instruction manual. When you buy a blender, it comes in with an instruction manual. Anything that's created has a creator. My phone, this book, this table. And the creator always gives an instruction manual on how best to use that facility. When it comes to living, did we create ourselves? Did we create the universe? There is a creator to all of this as well. And that creator gave an instruction manual too, and that is in the form of the scriptures. And in these scriptures, what is taught is the solution to fear. In Sanskrit, we call these scriptures smriti, that which is to be remembered. Because if I can remember this, then there won't be fear. But if I forget this, there will be fear. My wife and I went to see Paranormal Activity. It's a horror movie. And we came back home, and I went to sleep. She couldn't sleep. How do I know this? Because she woke me up in the middle of the night and says, I can't sleep. And I said, why? I'm afraid. Because she must have been thinking, you know, I'm that person in the movie and I'm going to hurt her and so on and so forth. And I said, chant Hanuman Chalisa. In other words, change what you're thinking. And then I went back to sleep. And the next morning I asked her, so how did you sleep afterwards? And she said, fine. Because until then, she was thinking Paranormal Activity and all of the associated thoughts. But then she started thinking, remembering the scriptures and all of the associated thoughts. If there's no fear thought, there can't be fear. So simple that we ignore it. This is the truth. When I say Blue Jays, what are you thinking about? Rogers Center, Kelly Gruber, World Series, All-Star Game, they need to spend more money on getting better players, etc., etc. When I say Crimea, what do you think of? Right? All the associated thoughts. When I say scripture, meaning the depth of the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, all of those associated thoughts. The way, the solution to overcoming the source of fear is to know thyself in three ways. Okay? At the highest level, one has to know thy vastness. Know that you are infinite. Because if I know that I'm infinite, right away, my fear of death is dissolved. If I'm infinite, I am not born, and anything that's not born cannot die. And I'll be even more practical about this. I was teaching a group of kids, and I gave each of them 2 handfuls of Legos. And they were rowdy until then, but when they had those Legos, they went into Mona. And I said, you have 15 minutes to make whatever you want. And you should have seen the focus of these kids. And then we did show and tell. So they showed everyone what they made, spaceships and houses and guns and all of that. And then I said, now you have to break this. And they looked at me with such hate. I ruined their lives. And slowly, piece by piece, they took apart these objects. And I asked them, what did you have in the beginning? Legos. What did you have at the end? Legos. What did you have in the middle? And they went on with their names and forms. But what did they really have in the middle? Legos. Beginning Legos, middle Legos, end is Legos. All of the birth and death we see around us is simply a change in form and name. Isn't that the law of conservation of energy? Energy is not created nor destroyed. It just changes form and name. That's you. You are that energy. You are that existence. And if I can tune into this message, then how can death touch me? I'm beyond being born and dying. And there's a lot of other deep thoughts here that I'd like to share, but I'm going to give more time to the Q&A. I'm just going to leave it at that. If I know my vastness, that means I am not subject to birth or death. That is Sat. That is existence, which is my nature. And I'll give you a way to practice this. I call it a Maya walk. Every day, before you go to school, work, errands, whatever you're doing, for 5 minutes, just walk around your neighborhood without a cell phone, without headphones, with no other people, and just acknowledge form, name, essence. Form, name, essence. For example, form, it's this square. Name, book. Essence is paper. Paper goes down to existence. You keep breaking it down. It's like reverse engineering. Tree. Form is this tree, essence is the form, and the name is a tree, and the essence is earth. Earth comes from this, and you just keep going into it. And what happens is we start to understand and appreciate the existence of all. So try that for 5 minutes every morning to go on this Maya walk. Acknowledge the form, acknowledge the name, but tune in to the essence. If the essence is gone, so is the form and name. But if the form and name is gone, the essence is still there. It's a dependent variable, this form and name. Go past that. Go deeper. So know your vastness. The second, know change. Know that everything is changing. The universe is changing. We're growing right now. The universe is expanding. Society is changing. Rules keep on changing. Politics keeps on changing. This body keeps on changing too. Each one of us in this room is now 3 hours closer to death than when we walked in here. And don't blame it on me. Either way, you would have been those 3 hours closer, whether I was there or not. So far away there are changes. All around us there's changes. Within us there's changes. So knowing everything is changing, why should I be afraid? Everything comes, everything goes. And a way to remember this, I'll give you a riddle. What 4-word phrase, and each word in this phrase has 4 letters in it. When you say it to the happy person, they become sad. And when you say it to the sad person, they become happy. How many words in the phrase? How many letters each word? Happy person becomes? Sad person becomes? All English words. Second word, third word is will. It's going to happen. Second word is this. This will. Even This will pass. If I can remember this, then I will be fully aware of the changes around, far away from me, around me, and within me. So, what is there to be afraid of? It's going to change. There's good times and there's bad times. There's good health and there's bad health. There's good friends and there's bad friends. There's darkness and there's light, etc., etc., etc. So know vastness. Don't be afraid of death. Know change. I'm saying no with a K here. So don't be afraid of the unknown. It's going to change. The unknown is going to become the known. The known is going to become unknown. And finally, know responsibility. Know your responsibilities. Being afraid of our responsibilities doesn't change our responsibilities. But if I know this is my responsibility, then what is the point of being afraid? Not just with fear, with all negativities, what is the point? The lady that was talking about the weather, see, we complain about the weather all day, we all do, but does the weather change? All of us, let's complain about the weather, it'll get warmer. Is that going to happen? Being angry, do we communicate better? Being stressed out, does it increase my performance? Driving, exams, etc. It doesn't. Negativities are futile, they're pointless. When people ask me about my schedule and I tell them I travel a lot, I don't sleep a lot, etc. And they start complaining for me. And I say I don't complain because it's not like anyone's going to listen. Right? Who actually listens to complaints? So why do it? It's just a waste. So if I know responsibility, then why fear sorrow? We're afraid of we're afraid of sorrow that comes with the responsibilities. I have to work hard. Here's a tip that I'd like for all of us to remember. 3 tips actually when it comes to work. You fill in the blanks. Work never ends. Correct. If I know that work never ends, why should I be afraid of work? Number 2, the more you work, the more blank you will be given. The more work you'll be given. The more you do, the more you will get. If we go for a basketball example, why does LeBron James get the ball the most? Because he does the most with the ball. It's not like he gets it and complains. But isn't that the case with us? I've completed a successful project. Can you do this project too? Why are you asking me? Ask someone else. Wouldn't any smart entrepreneur say, hey, you did it. You can do more. And the third is, work never blank anyone. Killed anyone. Work never killed anyone. Not working kills people. Work never ends. The more you do, the more you will receive. And work never killed anyone. And I'm just sharing these tips because if I know my responsibility, I will act on these. And there's no reason to fear sorrow. Be fully aware that there's only one solution to our fears. Anyone else you meet, any other workshop you go to, any other trainer that you come across, they will share different expressions, specific instructions about how to get over claustrophobia, how to get over the fear of public speaking, etc. That's fine, but it's still at this level. Fundamentally, we have these 3 fears, and these 3 fears will only be cleared out when we know ourselves. That my nature is existence, awareness, joy, so there can't be fear of death, unknown, sorrow. Okay, we have approximately half an hour